Donald Trump was doing a rally in Valley Forge, Pennsylvania on Tuesday, and he focused quite a bit on the issue of healthcare. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, I think that was the main thing in that speech going into it. He said, well, this is going to be the one on healthcare. So he made a bold claim about the future of the American healthcare system. He said the following, quote, "Failure to repeal and replace Obamacare will destroy American healthcare forever." Forever. Okay, so, now what's his plan to replace it? Nothing. This is a classic right-wing move. It's like, yeah, Obamacare, so bad, so terrible. Repeal and replace. What should we replace it with? I don't know. So, that's not fair. I mean, to be totally fair to him, he does have that terrible standard right-wing idea of, well, you should remove the lines around the states in order to help people or something. So they argue, well, that'll make costs go down, yada, yada. No, what ends up happening is the health insurance companies will simply all move to the one state that gives them the lowest tax rate. So it's really for them to pad their bottom line more. Will it actually help people? No, of course not. And what other idea outside of that do these guys have? Nothing. I mean, the funny thing is, the only one Trump has floated was during the debate where he said, well, maybe I'll expand Medicaid. Okay, that's what Obamacare does. That's one of the main provisions of Obamacare is expanding Medicaid. And a lot of the Republican governors said, I'm going to refuse to do that in my state, specifically to try to tank Obamacare. So and by the way, people have died as a result of them not expanding Medicaid in their states. There was a Harvard study, I think it was like 20,000 people or something died as a result of that because Republican governors were like, yeah, I'm just not going to expand Medicaid and let these people, be screwed. So his idea is repeal and replace Obamacare and replace it with Obamacare, partly. But furthermore, man, look, when he says, Obamacare will destroy American healthcare forever, it's not that Obamacare would destroy American healthcare. It's that we're in a bad spot because we have private health insurance companies. So the main issue with Obamacare, and it was still, don't get me wrong, a reform that was a step in the right direction because what we had before was so bad that almost anything would have improved the system, any kind of reform. So along comes Obamacare, which actually is a right-wing reform. Richard Nixon supported a version of it with the individual mandate. Bob Dole did. Newt Gingrich, Chuck Grassley, right-wing think tanks wrote policy papers saying this is our response to single payer from the left. So, it was better than nothing, but the main problem is you still have the health insurance companies in control, which is why today, for example, we are seeing spikes in costs for it. Now, we don't know how big the spikes would have been without Obamacare, but we do know that one of the main reasons it's happening is you have some health insurance companies who are pulling out of it because they say, you're not letting us make enough. You're not letting us be greedy enough, even though you just handed over to the private health insurance companies a forced market. You made it so that people, okay, now you're mandated by law to go buy health insurance on the private marketplace. That's what Obamacare did. That's the individual mandate part of it with the exchanges. So people, go to it. They're forced to hand over their money to private health insurance companies, and still the private health insurance companies go, not enough. So now some of them are pulling out of the market, and in some places, in some states, you only have one insurance provider, and they just jack their prices up. So, but the problem isn't Obamacare. The problem isn't the kind of reform the government tried to do. The problem is that the private health insurance companies still exist. They're an unnecessary for-profit middleman. They are a rapacious shark jacking your money for no goddamn reason. Look, we've all experienced it. I certainly have experienced it. This idea of, okay, so you have to pay X amount of money per month. Let's just make up a number. $337 a month. That's what you have to pay for your health insurance. And then you go to the doctor when something happens. They go, okay, great. So anyway, you owe us $5,000. What? I've been paying $337 a month. That's nice. Yeah, but you have the copay and the deductible and the blah, 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 and you still owe a shitload of money. But then why am I paying you every month if you're the health insurance company? And then when something happens, they go, well, you pay the first X amount. Well, no, bitch, I've been paying you the whole time. You pay. Because they're fucking you. They are screwing you. This isn't what it's like in other countries, guys. In other countries, other modern nations, they have what's called one variation or another of a single-payer system. You know what that means? It means sick help, to steal from the movie John Q. Sick help. So, you're in trouble, something happens, you go to the doctor, they take care of you, and it costs $0.00 and you walk out. Now, this is where Republicans say, yeah, but there's no such thing as a free lunch, man. Somebody's paying for it. That's right. Somebody's paying for it. You know what happens? It comes out of your taxes. So right now, your taxes go towards what? Goes towards wars, fighting people in an offensive way when they didn't attack us, goes towards corporate welfare, goes towards Wall Street bailouts, goes towards pork barrel spending, all types of nonsense that if you got to pick, you would never prioritize what they spend it on. You would never say, yeah, what you do now is good. You'd say, give me education, give me healthcare, give me things that make sense. Well, in other nations, modern nations, they put it towards shit that makes a lot more sense. Hey, man, how about one of the first things we do is if you're sick, you get help and you don't have to go bankrupt. That wacky idea. In the U.S., did you know the number one cause of bankruptcy is medical bankruptcies? I mean, that's just you're not acting like a modern nation at that point. You're just fucking over your population and letting people get rich off of pain and suffering. That's what's happening with our healthcare system and our health insurance system. You don't need the private health insurance companies. Now, by the way, I'm not saying you ban all private health insurance companies. What I'm saying is if you had a system that was a single-payer system, you can have supplemental care where if somebody wants to get private insurance, they get private insurance. But right now, they're forced to go through private insurance, and they're taking their unnecessary cut. So they rob you when you get sick. They rob you when you're not sick, too, because you just pay the premiums and get nothing out of it. This isn't what it's like in other countries. It doesn't have to be like this. We spend more on healthcare than any other country, and we get worse outcomes. Why? Why? Because of the rapacious for-profit middlemen. That's the problem. So it's not Obamacare's fault. It's the fault of the entire system. The root problem, the cancer, the virus, is the private health insurance companies. We need single-payer Medicare for all, and we need it now.